I understand, and I thank also our colleague Senator Risa for bringing this up. But we are doing this because we are thinking of the long term, not just for now, but the precedent it will create. So unfortunately, I cannot at this point accept the proposal.
Final word siguro, so we can proceed with the. There's still a pending motion to divide the House. Yes,
Salamat tayo, Mr. President. I will be very brief. Isang huling punto na lamang po. Hindi po ito political accommodation. Naipasa na po natin ang security of tenure. It was the sense of the Senate. It was the legislative priority of the Senate. Na veto man ng dating presidente, here now we have a chance to stake a claim for security of tenure sa ilan sa mga empleyado natin. Just 400 people. So hindi po ito political accommodation, ito po ay isang rights-based na proposed amendment, and it is not contradictory to being business-friendly. In fact, ang kooperatiba po ay isang forma ng economic organization. At yung mga empleyado ng kooperatibang ito gustong magpatuloy magtrabaho sa kumpanya.
At Mr. President, pwede silang magtrabaho uli sa kumpanya na yan. And number two, what we're saying is, this is a different company altogether now. There's just already, even the ownership of Seneco is at, which is compliant with the rules that we have, is 30%. So what we're saying is, kahit na bagong kumpanya, yung tenure, alam nyo, Mr. President, kaya nga hindi magsara-sara ang isang network na nawala ng prangkisa dahil walang pambayad ng severance pay.
The distinguished sponsor, Senator Grace po. And so, the next course of action is to divide the House, Mr. President.
Yes. Yes, sir. Deputy Minority Floor Leaders recognized.
Salamat kaayo, Mr. President. Just one more note to add to my appeal, no, to our colleagues here in this chamber. The Senate, the Senate, passed the Security of Tenure Bill during the time of the former President. Na vinito lang nung dating presidente. So ito pong pagbobotohan natin para ito sa mga walang security of tenure na manggagawa. Itong mga nasa Seneco, 400 plus lamang na katao, na palagay ko kayang-kayang ipagpatuloy ang empleyo sa kumpanya, itong sa Seneco ay enjoying security of tenure na. Tapos mawawala. No? Hindi naman yata tama ito. At saka parang hindi consistent sa trabahong ginawa na natin sa Senado, nagpasa tayo ng Security of Tenure Bill. So that's my last note on my appeal, Mr. President, before we divide the House. Let's vote for security of tenure. Kung hindi pa sa pambansa, dito para sa Seneco employees. Salamat kaayo, Mr. President.
Thank you. Would the sponsor like to comment?
Yeah, Mr. President, first of all, tenure was respected by the cooperative. But the reality is, this is now a different company. Even if, let's say, it's a joint venture, it's formed under a different corporation. Now, what I'm looking at, number one, the employees of Seneco will be given due severance pay based on the number of years that they've been serving the cooperative. Number two, they can reapply. But the reality also is we're trying to encourage more investments to come in the country. If we'll say we'll absorb everything and honor, not honor, but because they have tenure in this one company, whoever takes over will have to take on the tenure of the others, we will never be attractive to other investors. And what we're looking at is to create, not just to save the 450 jobs, which eventually they can still reapply for the job. Number two, it's to think of the wider expansion of business in Bacolod and other parts of the country, because other companies will see that we are reasonable, that we are not imposing based on political accommodation or to what do you call this, just because of the climate that we're at. We are also trying to be business friendly, because being so will not only make this venture successful, but other ventures in the future. So, Mr. President, I understand, and I thank also our colleague Senator Risa for bringing this up. But we are doing this because we are thinking of the long term, not just for now, but the precedent it will create. So, unfortunately, I cannot at this point accept the proposal.
Final word siguro, so we can proceed with the. There's still a pending motion to divide the House. Yes,
Salamat tayo, Mr. President. I will be very brief. Isang huling punto na lamang po. Hindi po ito political accommodation. Naipasa na po natin ang security of tenure. It was the sense of the Senate. It was the legislative priority of the Senate. na veto man ng dating presidente, here now we have a chance to stake a claim for security of tenure sa ilan sa mga empleyado natin. Just 400 people. So hindi po ito political accommodation, ito po ay isang rights-based na proposed amendment, and it is not contradictory to being business-friendly. In fact, ang kooperatiba po ay isang forma ng economic organization. At yung mga empleyado ng kooperatibang ito gustong magpatuloy magtrabaho sa kumpanya.
At
I
Mr.
finally
President,
appeal to
pwede
our
silang
colleagues to vote for
magtrabaho
that.
uli sa kumpanya na yan. And number two, what we're saying is, this is a different company altogether now. There's just already, even the ownership of Seneco, is at, which is compliant with the rules that we have, is 30%. So what we're saying is, kahit na bagong kumpanya, yung tenure, alam nyo, Mr. President, kaya nga hindi magsara-sara ang isang network na nawalan ng prangkisa dahil walang pambayad ng severance pay. Ito nga magbibigay ng severance, plus they can reapply for the job that they have. Now, when we're saying, we also have to be very practical. Mr. President, ang sweldo nila, okay, maganda mataas ang sweldo nila, pero talo pa nga nila yung sweldo dito sa Meralco na iba din yung, I mean, what I'm saying is, we need to standardize also, di ba? Parang, Mr. President, my conscience is clear here.
Yes.
I want to protect the jobs also of these people and our workers in Bacolod. My mom is from Bacolod. They can reapply for their jobs, plus they can get money in their pocket. Ito kaagad-agad, yung pera nasa inyo na, at mag-a-apply kayo. Kung matino ka sa trabaho, sa tingin mo ba hindi ka kukunin uli para magtrabaho doon? So, Mr. President, again, we can debate here all night. But I think the lady already from Capiz has made her point, and we can now divide the House.
Yes, Senate Majority Leader?
Yes,
Please
Mr.
make the
President.
motion.
Therefore, Mr. President, perhaps those who are in favor of the motion or the amendment of the distinguished Deputy Minority Leader would raise their hand, Mr. President.
We might still raise hands because it's the same. They might ask for a nominal vote if it's viva voce. So raising of hands.
So we do it by raising of hands, Mr. President.
Those who are in favor of the amendment of Senator Hontiveros, please raise your right hand or left hand. Left. Those who are not in favor of the amendment, please raise your hand. The nays have it. The amendment is lost.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, tapos ka na?
Mr. President, can the result of the voting be announced? The result.
If there are 14, I only saw 2 raising of hands for the approval of the amendment. So it means 12 versus 4, 12 versus 2. Am I correct with my mathematics? Yes. 2 are in the affirmative, 12 negative votes. Therefore, the amendment is lost.
Wala na, Grace? Wala.
Yes, majority.
Mr. President, there being no other individual amendments.
Wala na, ako wala na.
Mr. President, next to introduce his individual amendments is the distinguished Minority Leader. I move that he be recognized, Mr. President.
Distinguished minority floor leaders recognized.
Meron ba kayo battery pack dyan?
Since we are still fresh on the topic of the employees, if I can just start with that with that topic, Mr. President. On page 5, line 48, which is the 4th paragraph, if we can replace the period with a semicolon and add the phrase, provided that in the absorption of former Seneco employees, there shall be no diminution of rank, salaries, benefits, or rights previously enjoyed by these employees.
I can't accept, Mr. President.
You cannot?
No, because what's going to happen, Your Honor, they'll be hiring people with lower salaries. Kasi that's the industry standard. So magkakaroon ng salary imbalance or
May battery pack.
distortion.
No, Mr.
Salary
President,
distortion.
bagong company nga ito eh. So they're starting afresh, Mr. President. Wala siguro tong wage distortion. Pero akala ko pinagmamayabang natin kanina na mataas yung salaries nila. Tapos once they're terminated and then they are rehired, baka mag-start sila sa lower salary than their previous salary, Mr. President. Is that the plan or?
Industry standards, Mr. President. So whatever, as I've mentioned earlier, whatever they're capable of, based on their specialty, there's a salary grade for each of that. So like how much a lawyer will be here. But again, as your colleague has mentioned, the security of tenure, that's why we're making up for it by giving them already their severance ahead of time.
Yes, wala. This is a new matter, Mr. President. Ito yung sa mga ma-re-rehire to be absorbed. Okay na, those who accepted severance pay, They will all get
They'll all be
severance
getting
pay.
severance pay. They'll start
And
from
then
scratch.
maybe all will apply, but not all will be accepted. But those to be accepted, should we allow them to start at a lower salary than the one they were getting from Seneco, their former employer, Mr. President?
Let me just add, I think that's the option of the new company if they want to do that or
Yes,
not.
Mr. President.
Kasi hindi naman to government agency, Your Honor. The complaint of many cooperatives, the complaint about many cooperatives is they are using too much of the funds for salaries and allowances of their staff together with board of directors and all, na hindi nila binabalik yung pera sa expansion, the modernization of their equipment, na pupunta lahat sa salaries and allowances, Your Honor. So, I understand the position of the new company in the fact that they want to streamline this so that the income of the said new electric entity will actually go to the expansion and the modernization of their lines. So, I think there will be a salary distortion that the new hiree that they're going to get will be getting less than those who are working and absorbed by the company. So parang baka magulat yung magkakaproblema talaga siguro dyan.
Yes, because siyempre, more experience na po ito eh. Galing na ito sa... And maybe older. This will be older than their new hires. But that's the spirit of the amendment which has been rejected by our sponsor. Tama po, no? It has been rejected. Sige po.
Thank you.
So I will no longer appeal that to the body because I already know the result, Mr. President. So siguro this one is the... Now, on the right of eminent domain, I think I raised this during the interpellation. So if we can go to section 10, which is found on page 3, line 42. If we can replace the word power with the word right, because I looked at the two other franchise bills we just approved, we used the word right in the title
We accept,
as well
Mr.
as right in
President.
the body. Okay,
We
thank you.
accept.
So, amendments
Thank you.
accepted.
Thank you. On the
Record.
same
Subject to style.
on lines on same page, lines 49 to 54, same page and section, I propose that we delete the phrase including but not limited to, starting with that with those words, up to the words franchise area, Mr. President.
We accept.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, amendments accepted.
This is an attempt to make our right of eminent domain section more familiar and more similar to the other franchise bills, Mr. President. And then, Mr. President, on page 3, line 55 until page 4, line 9, I propose that we delete the phrase provided further up to the words assessed value. The objective is the same, Mr. President,
We accept,
to
Mr.
normalize
President.
the section. Thank you, Mr.
Yes,
President.
amendments accepted. Peter?
I'm going to propose amendments, but one concerns the essence of the bill, which is money muling, Mr. President. If I could ask for the suspension of the interpellation so I can submit the definition so the sponsor can study. The other amendments would be on the penalties, which we can... I'm not yet ready to propose them, but we can do them after the money muling, Mr. President. So my proposal is if we could suspend consideration of the bill, we'll continue. We'll continue tomorrow, Mr. President, tomorrow.
Yeah, okay.
We, with the concurrence of the distinguished sponsor, Mr. President, we have no problem with the proposal of our minority leader. So with that, Mr. President,
Before we suspend, may I just ask the sponsor, Senator Villar, because it says here to amend, there's several names here written down. Are these already waived because you already read their amendments? They introduced their amendments, or shall they be introducing amendments as well? Senator Villar.
Yes, they submitted to us, so they...
So Senator Escudero, Senator Gatchalian will no longer propose amendments. Okay, so we can clean up the list. Thank you very much. So who are they? Senators Escudero, Gatchalian,
Legarda.
and Legarda. So what is remaining is Senator Hontiveros and Senator Pimentel. Thank you very much. Just for the record.
Senator Hontiveros.
you want to do it now, please, or tomorrow?
So pwede nyo natanggalin yung mga pangalan na yan. Dalawang So are there any amendments today by Senator Hontiveros or? Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. President, I was informed by our Deputy Minority Leader that she will also introduce her amendments the day that the minority leader will propose his individual amendments.
All right.
If that's okay with the sponsor.
Okay.
The approval.
Before we do that, may we recognize Senator Tolentino, please?
Mr. President, just a point of inquiry on the basis of humanitarian consideration, Mr. President. Mr. President, I've been looking diagonally to my left for the last several days. A colleague of ours, coming from our great province of Cavite, Mr. President. May I know the exact rule, Mr. President, concerning a colleague, concerning a member of this chamber with medical devices, apparatus, and apparently under rehabilitation, Mr. President? Is he really required to be physically present during hearings? I'm referring, Mr. President, to the Honorable Senator Ramon Bong Revilla. Lagi ko po nakikita rito na may dala, kulang na lang po wheelchair, Mr. President.
Well, with due respect to our distinguished colleague, the rules is very explicit. We only amended the rules for online sessions for COVID infected individuals or those that have contagious diseases, COVID, TB, Ebola. Pagkaganyan, pwede yan online or is bedridden. We're lax. But the rules is very specific. It is only for contagious diseases. But due to humanitarian reasons, because he had his operation last week that he could not stand up, we allowed it. However, he attended a political party rally in Manila Polo Club, was seen by everybody standing beside our president, and therefore he seems fit to be able to join us. And he joined us last Wednesday, to be very fair about it. He did join us last Wednesday. So I leave it now to the majority leader to make the proposition.
Yeah, Mr. President, just to put on record, if
Mr. President, may I take the
Yes.
floor?
Yes, our distinguished colleague from
I
Cavite.
just
is
want to
recognized.
let you, to inform the body, hindi po tayo nagpapaawa dito, no? This is just a mere parang consideration. Ako, I don't mind for humanitarian reason. I mean, ako, I don't mind. Ako so far, in the past two Congress, perfect attendance ang inyong lingkod. Never been late, never been absent. Sino ba namang gustong umabsent dito? That's why I want to be online. During our last session, I attended. I tried. Pero namaga yung paa eh.
Alam ni majority leader.
So it's okay, Mr. President. Kahit na mabulok yung paa dito, no problem. Para sa bayan.
Yeah, just a reminder, Your Honor, I've had a perfect attendance since 1998. I have not been absent from sessions since 1998. For the record, I must have the longest record of appearance in the legislature. When times I'm sick, times I don't feel good, times I'm also bugbog sa trabaho, but I try to make it a point to be here to show our commitment. But the rules is very clear, and I leave it back to our chairman of the Committee on Rules to make the motion or the manifestation so that we are clear with the rules.
Thank you. Mr. President, may I reiterate what you mentioned about our rules? It's very clear on Rule 14, Senate Session, Section 41. Letter B, Mr. President, convene and hold session through teleconference, video conference, and other reliable forms of remote or electronic means using appropriate information and communications technology systems due to force majeure or the occurrence of a national emergency as determined by the majority of all the members of the Senate, which may prevent the convening of the Senate or the physical presence of its members in the session hall. If you recall, Mr. President, I think last week, Mr. President, there was no objection coming from our colleagues of the Senate when we made that motion, Mr. President, to somehow suspend the rules for our dear colleague who just had a terrible accident, Mr. President. And again, we would like to put on record that we commiserate with our distinguished colleague. And in Section 120 of our rules, Mr. President, it says here, and I quote, "The unanimous consent of any action or proceeding may be given expressly or impliedly." And that's the main reason, Mr. President, that we allowed our colleague to be present via online without touching, Mr. President, our regular rules, Mr. President, because no one actually objected to it. But again, Mr. President, this is a case-to-case basis. If anyone would move, Mr. President.
Yes, I move, Mr. President. Majority Leader. With all due respect and in recognition still of our rules, I believe there is a definition for bedridden. Given the inability of our colleague to move, I think he should be considered bedridden even under our rules.
You know the reason why I'm bringing this up? Because last week, another colleague of ours was going to do a checkup and ask for a Zoom call as well. When will this stop, Your Honors? When will this stop? What is the leeway that we're going to give our colleagues?
Mr. President, we abide by the rules, and
Yes.
it actually says very clearly that bedridden is a category that applies.
No, it's not in our rules, madam. There's
But
no measure in the rules on bedridden. It's the chairperson just read what is on the rules earlier. If you may repeat it, Your Honor, Majority Leader.
But I understand from the Majority Leader that we could reconsider.
Mr.
We could
President, may I ask for a
reconsider
minute
even
suspension,
if
Mr. President?
no
Session
one
suspended.
actually objected.
Marcos is seeking the floor and actually has the floor. I move that she be recognized, Mr. President.
Our distinguished colleague from Ilocos Norte is recognized.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. President. And upon consultation, let me withdraw the motion and just enjoining your greatest humanitarian concern, refer therefore this issue to the Committee on Rules for further study and immediate action.
Yes, Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President, and we'd like to thank our distinguished colleague, Senator Amy Marcos, for trusting her Committee on Rules.
Yeah, there being no objection to her motion, duly seconded by the Majority Leader. Motion's approved.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Tolentino.
Thank you. Mr. President, at this juncture, with the consent of the body, I move that we proceed with the third reading of bills on the creation of courts. Printed copies of these measures were electronically distributed to the members of this August chamber on May 7, 2024, in compliance with the 3-day rule of the Constitution. With that, I move to consider on third reading House Bill number 6582. This is the bill on the creation of regional trial courts in Cabagan, Isabela. I so move, Mr. President.
There being no objection, motion is approved. Secretary, please read the title and proceed with the roll call vote.
An act creating 2 additional branches of the Regional Trial Court in the 2nd Judicial Region to be stationed in the Municipality of Cabagan, Province of Isabela, and appropriating funds therefore. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senator Angara, Senator Binay, Senator Cayetano Alan, Senator Cayetano Pia, Senator De La Rosa, Senator Ejercito, Senator Escudero, Senator Estrada, Senator Gatchalian, Senator Go, Senator Hontiveros, Senator Lapid, Senator Ligarda, Senator Marcos, Senator Padilla, Senator Pimentel, Senator Poe, Senator Revilla, Senator Tolentino, Senator Tulfo, Senator Villanueva, Senator Villar Cynthia, Senator Villar Mark, the Senate President.
Yes. Senator Lauren Ligarda, yes, sir. With 21 affirmative votes, 0 negative votes, 0 abstentions, House Bill number 6582 is approved on third reading.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I move to consider on third reading House Bill number 6583. This is the bill on the creation of regional trial courts.
Again,
and
may
it is-
make a correction. 22 affirmative votes.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to consider on third reading House Bill number 6583. This is the bill on the creation of regional trial courts and municipal trial courts in San Jose and Basilisa, province of Dinagat Island. So move, Mr. President.
There being no objection to the motion, we ask the Secretary to read the title and proceed with the roll call vote.
An act creating 3 additional branches of the Regional Trial Court in the 10th Judicial Region to be stationed in the Municipality of San Jose, Province of Dinagat Islands, and 2 additional branches of the Municipal Trial Court in the 10th Judicial Region to be stationed in the Municipality of San Jose and Basilisa. Senator Lapid, Senator Ligarda, Senator Marcos, Senator Padilla, Senator Pimentel, Senator Poe, Senator Revilla, Senator Tolentino, Senator Tulfo, Senator Villanueva,
Yes.
Senator Villar Cynthia, Senator Villar Mark, the Senate President.
Yes. With 22 affirmative votes, 0 negative votes, 0 abstentions, House Bill number 6583 is approved on third reading.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move to consider on third reading House Bill number 6584. This is the bill on the creation of a regional trial court in Baybay City, Leyte. I so move, Mr. President.
There being no objection, the Secretary to read the title and proceed with the roll call vote.
An act creating 1 additional branch of the Regional Trial Court in the 8th Judicial Region to be stationed in Sito Baybay, Province of Leyte, and appropriating funds therefore. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senator Angara, Senator Binay, Senator Cayetano Alan, Senator Cayetano Pia, Senator De La Rosa, Senator Ejercito, Senator Escudero, Senator Estrada, Senator Gatchalian, Senator Go, Senator Hontiveros, Senator Lapid, Senator Ligarda, Senator Marcos, Senator Padilla, Senator Pimentel, Senator Poe, Senator Revilla, Senator Tolentino, Senator Tulfo, Senator Villanueva, Senator Villar Cynthia, Senator Villar Mark, the Senate President.
Yes. With 22 affirmative votes, 0 negative votes, 0 abstentions, House Bill number 6584 is approved on third reading.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move to consider on third reading House Bill number 8247. This is the bill on the creation of regional trial courts in Calauag, Quezon. I so move, Mr. President.
There being no objection, motion is approved. We ask Secretary to read the title and proceed with the roll call vote.
An act creating 4 additional branches of the RTC in the 4th Judicial Senator Gatchalian, Municipality of Calauag, Province of Quezon, and appropriating funds therefore. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senator Angara, Senator Binay, Senator Cayetano Alan, Senator Cayetano Pia, Senator De La Rosa, Senator Ejercito, Senator Estrada, Senator Gatchalian, Senator Go, Senator Hontiveros, Senator Lapid, Senator Ligarda, Senator Marcos, Senator Padilla, Senator Pimentel, Senator Poe, Senator Revilla, Senator Tolentino, Senator Tulfo, Senator Villanueva,
Yes.
Senator Villar Cynthia, Senator Villar Mark, the Senate President.
Yes. With 22 affirmative votes, 0 negative votes, 0 abstentions, House Bill number 8247 is approved on third reading.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, with the consent of the body, I move that we proceed with the third reading of bills still on the creation of courts, to which the printed copies were electronically distributed to the members of this August chamber on May 9, 2024, in compliance with the 3-day rule in the Constitution. And with that, Mr. President, I move to consider on third reading House Bill number 8248. This is the bill on the creation of regional trial courts and municipal trial courts in cities Pangasinan, Pangasinan City, Zamboanga del Sur. I so move, Mr. President.
Pagadian.
Pagadian.
There being no objection, we ask Secretary to read the title and proceed with the roll call vote.
An act creating 2 additional branches of the RTC and 2 additional branches of the MTCC in the 9th Judicial Region to be stationed in City Pagadian, Province of Zamboanga del Sur, appropriating funds therefore. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senator Angara, Senator Binay, Senator Cayetano Alan, Senator De La Rosa, Senator Ejercito, Senator Escudero, Senator Estrada, Senator Gatchalian, Senator Go, Senator Hontiveros, Senator Lapid, Senator Ligarda, Senator Marcos, Senator Padilla, Senator Pimentel, Senator Poe, Senator Revilla, Senator Tolentino, Senator Tulfo, Senator Villanueva,
Yes.
Senator Villar Cynthia, Senator Villar Mark, the Senate President.
Yes. With 22 affirmative votes, 0 negative votes, 0 abstentions, House Bill number 8248 is approved on third reading.
Thank you, Mr. President. I now move to consider on third reading House Bill number 8249. This is the bill on the creation of regional trial courts and municipal trial courts in cities in Antipolo, Province of Rizal. I so move, Mr. President.
There being no objection, we ask Secretary to read the title and proceed with the roll call vote.
An act creating 10 additional branches of the RTC and 8 additional branches of the MTCC in the 4th Judicial Region to be stationed in City of Antipolo, Province of Rizal, appropriating funds therefore. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senator Angara, Senator Binay, Senator Cayetano Alan, Senator Cayetano Pia, Senator De La Rosa, Senator Ejercito, Senator Escudero, Senator Estrada, Senator Gatchalian, Senator Go, Senator Hontiveros, Senator Lapid, Senator Ligarda, Senator Marcos, Senator Padilla, Senator Pimentel, Senator Poe, Senator Revilla, Senator Tolentino, Senator Tulfo, Senator Villanueva, Senator Villar Cynthia, Senator Villar Mark, the Senate President.
With 22 affirmative votes, 0 negative votes, 0 abstentions, House Bill number 8249 is approved on third reading.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move to consider on third reading House Bill number 8250. This is the bill on the creation of regional trial courts in the island garden city of Samal and Panabo, Davao del Norte. I so move, Mr. President.
There being no objection, we ask Secretary to read the title and proceed with the roll call vote.
An act creating 2 additional branches of the RTC and the 11th Judicial Region to be stationed in Island Garden City of Samal, Panabo, Davao del Norte, and appropriating funds therefore. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senator Angara, Senator Binay, Senator Cayetano Alan, Senator Cayetano Pia, Senator De La Rosa, Senator Ejercito, Senator Escudero, Senator Estrada, Senator Gatchalian, Senator Go, Senator Hontiveros, Senator Lapid, Senator Ligarda, Senator Marcos, Senator Padilla, Senator Pimentel, Senator Poe, Senator Revilla, Senator Tolentino, Senator Tulfo, Senator Villanueva, Senator Villar Cynthia, Senator Villar Mark, the Senate President.
Yes. 22 affirmative votes, 0 negative votes, 0 abstentions, House Bill number 8250 is approved on third reading.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move to consider on third reading House Bill number 8253. This is the bill on the creation of municipal trial court in Malaybalay, Bukidnon. I so move, Mr. President.
There being no objection, we ask Secretary to read the title of the measure, proceed with the roll call vote.
An act creating 1 additional branch of the MTCC in the 10th Judicial Region to be stationed in the City of Malaybalay, Province of Bukidnon, and appropriating funds therefore. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senator Angara, Senator Binay, Senator Cayetano Alan, Senator Cayetano Pia, Senator De La Rosa, Senator Ejercito, Senator Escudero, Senator Estrada, Senator Gatchalian, Senator Go, Senator Hontiveros, Senator Lapid, Senator Ligarda, Senator Marcos, Senator Padilla, Senator Pimentel, Senator Poe, Senator Revilla, Senator Tolentino, Senator Tulfo, Senator Villanueva, Senator Villar Cynthia, Senator Villar Mark, the Senate President.
With 22 affirmative votes, 0 abstentions, 0 negative votes, House Bill number 8253 is approved on third reading.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move to consider on third reading House Bill number 8254. This is the bill on the creation of RTCs in Rosario and San Juan, Batangas. I so move, Mr. President.
There being no objection, Chair and the Secretary asks to read the title of the measure. Proceed with the roll call vote.
An act creating 5 additional branches of the RTC in the 4th Judicial Region to be stationed in the municipalities of Rosario and San Juan, province of Batangas, and appropriating funds therefore. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senator Angara, Senator Binay, Senator Cayetano Alan, Senator Cayetano Pia, Senator De La Rosa, Senator Ejercito, Senator Escudero, Senator Estrada, Senator Gatchalian, Senator Go, Senator Hontiveros, Senator Lapid, Senator Ligarda, Senator Marcos, Senator Padilla, Senator Pimentel, Senator Poe, Senator Revilla, Senator Tolentino, Senator Tulfo, Senator Villanueva, Senator Villar Cynthia, Senator Villar Mark, the Senate President.
Yes. With 23 affirmative votes, 0 negative votes, 0 abstentions, House Bill number 8254 is approved on third reading.
Thank you, Mr. President. I now move to consider on third reading House Bill number 8256. This is the bill on the creation of regional trial courts and metropolitan trial courts in Navotas City. I so move, Mr. President.
There being no objection, as Secretary to read the title. Proceed with the roll call vote.
An act creating 3 additional branches of the RTC and 2 additional branches of the MTC in the National Capital Judicial Region to be stationed in the city of Navotas and appropriating funds therefore. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senator Angara, Senator Binay, Senator Cayetano Alan, Senator Cayetano Pia, Senator De La Rosa, Senator Ejercito, Senator Escudero, Senator Estrada, Senator Gatchalian, Senator Go, Senator Hontiveros, Senator Lapid, Senator Ligarda, Senator Marcos, Senator Padilla, Senator Pimentel, Senator Poe, Senator Revilla, Senator Tolentino, Senator Tulfo, Senator Villanueva, Senator Villar Cynthia, Senator Villar Mark, the Senate President.
Yes. With 23 affirmative votes, 0 negative votes, 0 abstentions, House Bill number 8256 is approved on third reading.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to consider on third reading House Bill number 8258. This is the bill on the creation of municipal trial courts in San Carlos, Pangasinan. I so move, Mr. President.
There being no objection, as Secretary to read the title. Proceed with the roll call vote.
An act creating 3 additional branches of the municipal trial court in cities in the 1st Judicial Region to be stationed in the city of San Carlos, province of Pangasinan, and appropriating funds therefore. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senator Angara, Senator Binay, Senator Cayetano Alan, Senator Cayetano Pia, Senator De La Rosa, Senator Ejercito, Senator Escudero, Senator Estrada, Senator Gatchalian, Senator Go, Senator Hontiveros, Senator Lapid, Senator Ligarda, Senator Marcos, Senator Padilla, Senator Pimentel, Senator Poe, Senator Revilla, Senator Tolentino, Senator Tulfo, Senator Villanueva, Senator Villar Cynthia, Senator Villar Mark, the Senate President.
With 23 affirmative votes, 0 negative votes, 0 abstentions, House Bill number 8258 is approved on third reading.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to consider on third reading House Bill number 8259. This is the bill creating regional trial courts and metropolitan trial courts in San Juan City. I so move, Mr. President.
There being no objection to the motion, as Secretary to read the title. Proceed with the roll call vote.
An act creating additional branches of the RTC and MTC in the National Capital Judicial Region to be stationed in the city of San Juan, converting 4 branches of the RTC in Pasig City into 4 branches of the RTC in the city of San Juan and appropriating funds therefore. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senator Angara, Senator Binay, Senator Cayetano Alan, Senator Cayetano Pia, Senator De La Rosa, Senator Ejercito, Senator Escudero, Senator Estrada, Senator Gatchalian, Senator Go, Senator Hontiveros, Senator Lapid, Senator Ligarda, Senator Marcos, Senator Padilla, Senator Pimentel, Senator Poe, Senator Revilla, Senator Tolentino, Senator Tulfo, Senator Villanueva, Senator Villar Cynthia, Senator Villar Mark, the Senate President.
With 23 affirmative votes, 0 negative votes, 0 abstentions, House Bill number 8259 is approved on third reading.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move to consider on third reading House Bill number 8260. This is the bill on the creation of regional trial courts in Hinuog, Misamis Oriental. I so move, Mr. President.
There being no objection, we ask Secretary to proceed with the reading of the title and the roll call vote.
An act creating 2 additional branches of the RTC and the 10th Judicial Region to be stationed in the city of Hinuog, province of Misamis Oriental, and appropriating funds therefore. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senator Angara, Senator Binay, Senator Cayetano Alan, Senator Cayetano Pia, Senator De La Rosa, Senator Ejercito, Senator Escudero, Senator Estrada, Senator Gatchalian, Senator Go, Senator Hontiveros, Senator Lapid, Senator Ligarda, Senator Marcos, Senator Padilla, Senator Pimentel, Senator Poe, Senator Revilla, Senator Tolentino, Senator Tulfo, Senator Villanueva, Senator Villar Cynthia, Senator Villar Mark, the Senate President.
Yes. With 22 affirmative votes, 0 negative votes, 0 abstentions, House Bill number 8260 is approved on third reading.
Kausapin mo yung mga nakalinya. Mr. President, I move to consider on third reading House Bill number 8251. This is the bill on the creation of regional trial courts and municipal trial courts in Ormoc City, Leyte. I so move, Mr. President.
There have been objection. Motions approved. We ask Secretary to read the title and proceed with the roll call vote.
An act creating 4 additional branches of the RTC and 4 additional branches of the MTCC in the 8th Judicial Region to be stationed in the city of Ormoc, province of Leyte, and appropriating funds therefore. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senator Angara, Senator Binay, Senator Cayetano Alan, Senator Cayetano Pia, Senator De La Rosa, Senator Ejercito, Senator Escudero, Senator Estrada, Senator Gatchalian, Senator Go, Senator Hontiveros, Senator Lapid, Senator Legarda, Senator Marcos, Senator Padilla, Senator Pimentel, Senator Poe, Senator Revilla, Senator Tolentino, Senator Tulfo, Senator Villanueva, Senator Villar Cynthia, Senator Villar Mark, the Senate President.
With 23 affirmative votes, 0 negative votes, 0 abstentions, House Bill number 8251 is approved on third reading.
8251 yun, no? 8251 yun. Mr. President, I move to consider on third reading House Bill number 8255. This is the bill on the creation of municipal trial courts in cities in Bacolod, Negros Occidental. I so move, Mr. President.
There being no objection, motions approved. We ask Secretary to proceed with the reading of the title and the roll call vote.
An act creating 2 additional branches of the MTCC in the 6th Judicial Region to be stationed in the city of Bacolod, province of Negros Occidental, appropriating funds therefore. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senator Angara, Senator Binay, Senator Cayetano Alan, Senator Cayetano Pia, Senator De La Rosa, Senator Ejercito, Senator Escudero, Senator Estrada, Senator Gatchalian, Senator Go, Senator Hontiveros, Senator Lapid, Senator Legarda, Senator Marcos, Senator Padilla, Senator Pimentel, Senator Poe, Senator Revilla, Senator Tolentino, Senator Tulfo, Senator Villanueva, Senator Villar Cynthia, Senator Villar Mark, the Senate President.
Yes. With 23 affirmative votes, 0 negative votes, 0 abstentions, House Bill number 8255 is approved on third reading.
Mr. President, at this juncture, I move to consider on third reading House Bill number 8252. This is the bill on the creation of RTCs in Tubod, Lanao del Norte. I so move, Mr. President.
There have been no objection. We ask Secretary to read the title, proceed with the roll call vote.
An act creating 2 additional branches of the RTC in the 12th Judicial Region to be stationed in the municipality of Tubod, province of Lanao del Norte, and appropriating funds therefore. Roll call vote. The Honorable Senator Angara, Senator Binay, Senator Cayetano Alan, Senator Cayetano Pia, Senator De La Rosa, Senator Ejercito, Senator Escudero, Senator Estrada, Senator Gatchalian, Senator Go, Senator Hontiveros, Senator Lapid, Senator Legarda, Senator Marcos, Senator Padilla, Senator Pimentel, Senator Poe, Senator Revilla, Senator Tolentino, Senator Tulfo, Senator Villanueva, Senator Villar Cynthia, Senator Villar Mark, the Senate President.
With 23 affirmative votes, 0 negative votes, 0 abstentions, House Bill number 8252 is approved on third reading.
Mr. President, our minority leader is seeking the floor. I move that he be recognized, Mr. President.
Our distinguished minority floor leader is recognized.
I rise to raise a question of privilege, Mr. President, as this matter affects, I think, our ability to discharge our function today. Given the fact that we have different health conditions, so hindi naman tayo pare-pare yung situation, Mr. President. It's too, if not warm, it's too hot, Mr. President. And the best proof is that there is an electric fan in front of the table of our Senate President pro tempore. There is a fan in front of her table, so 2 electric fans daw, sabi directed at her. So, Mr. President, if I can ask for a suspension, Mr. President, of session till we let's talk about this, Mr. President. If we can competently continue with our session for today, Mr. President.
We'd like to recognize first, who stand up earlier was Senator Tolentino, then Senator
Thank you, Mr.
Bato de la
President.
Rosa, and then Senator Chis Escudero.
Yes, Mr. President. Anterior to the privileged speech of the Minority Leader, Mr. President, gusto ko lang pong pasalamatan in behalf of the various integrated Bar of the Philippines chapters coming from Isabela Province, Dinagat Islands, Baybay City, Province of Quezon, Pagadian City, Antipolo City, Samal City, Panabo City, the Province of Bukidnon, Batangas Province, Nabota City in NCR, Pangasinan, San Carlos City, San Juan City, National Capital Region, Misamis Oriental, Ormoc City, Bacolod City, and Lanao del Norte. Thank you, Mr. President, for the passage of the various bills, creating various courts in the aforesaid places, Mr. President. And also, this representation would like to thank the Senate President, Juan Miguel Zubiri, the hardworking majority floor leader, Joel Villanueva, and of course, the hardworking minority floor leader, Senator Coco Pimentel, for his insightful inputs during the interpellation. Mr. President, in the interest of time, and as contained in the privileged speech of the minority leader, I will just be submitting an extended manifestation of gratitude to our colleagues for approving on third reading the various measures heeding the call of the various IBP chapters nationwide. Maraming salamat po, Mr. President.
Thank you very much to our sponsor. Maraming salamat din for considering all those provinces that you have heard. And
As we are
sponsored.
being very lenient with our rules, Mr. President, we will continue hearing manifestations. I think Senator Bato, Senator Bong, even our Senate President Pro Temp and Senator Estrada would like to make a short manifestation.
Senator De La Rosa is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. If the earlier manifestation of our minority leader is a motion, I would manifest also to second the motion, Mr. President. That's all. Thank you, Mr.
Thank
President.
you. Yes, Senator Bongo.
Mr. President.
We have a motion, live motion, duly seconded, Mr. President, but it's your call, Mr. President. We can...
Well, the motion is to suspend, but these gentlemen here are standing up possibly because of the passage of these bills that we just did for third reading.
So with the indulgence of the movement,
yes.
may we hear our colleagues, Mr. President. Thank
Yes.
you. And the Senate Minority Leader is nodding his head. So
Yes, with
we
the
proceed,
permission of
Mr.
the Minority
President.
Leader.
Please, Mr. President.
Mr. President, may I request to be considered a co-sponsor of the bills we approve on third reading? Thank you,
Yes.
Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Senator Bongo. Approved by the sponsor, Senator Tolentino. Yes, Senator Estrada.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, whatever the outcome of the Senators' caucus, whether to suspend or not, I am still willing to be interpellated by some of our colleagues with regard to the bill that I am enacting right now, because I know the importance of this bill and we have to pass it before we adjourn the Senate. Thank
Yes,
you, Mr. President.
and in the caucus, I'd also make an appeal to our colleagues. We only have 5 working days counting.
Tayo mga tol, maraming salamat sa panonood at patuloy na suporta. God bless you sa inyo lahat at hanggang sa muli, paalam.